Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast, Tuesday, June the 7th. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. Hope your week is getting off to a great start. I thought we would continue a little bit of a conversation from yesterday. I've got some kind of cool stuff that's going to be a bit provocative today, so put your thinking cap on, and we're going to look at some current events compared to the chart. But first, let's talk about today, first quarter moon at 10:49, say 10:50 this morning. Moon goes into first quarter in Virgo. Now, tomorrow, we'll have a quick little void, of course, in the morning. If you want the numbers on that, 8:08 a.m. to 11:22 a.m., then the moon moves into Libra, or Libra. Libra's growing on me. Delia uses Libra, and I've heard several others. Libra. If you look it up, it's equal. You can use either one. They're interchangeable. Neither is right, neither is wrong. Here's what I thought we would talk about since this chart is locked down. There is nothing else moving around. There are some aspects, and those we've pretty much talked about. So let's continue this thought that we had from yesterday about Saturn going retrograde. Yesterday we talked more about the combination of the Blues Brothers, Saturn and Pluto, but I was thinking about this in context of what may lie ahead. Now, this Saturn retrograde goes all the way until toward the end of October. It retraces 7 of the 25 degrees that Saturn has progressed through Aquarius. So I thought, Aquarius, technology. What has been a big signature, really, of the last several years? Technology. Now, Saturn moved into Aquarius in March of 2020. None of us will forget March of 2020, January of 2020, February of 2020. I was seeing that my friend Rod Powell from Vail, Colorado, his birthday would have been Sunday, and Rod was one of the first 305 people nationally to die from COVID, and he died in I think it was the third week of March or the middle of March, 2020. So Saturn is going backwards. We know we're going to revisit, we're going to revise, we're going to reword everything that has happened through this Aquarian transit. So I thought, let's go back and just have a look, blow the dust off of some of the things to remind ourselves what has happened over the last 3 years. And I thought, let's focus on one of the classic Aquarian characteristics, and that being technology. I found a couple of lists that went back to 2020 and 2021, and I'm not going to comment on these. I'm just going to say, let's think together of how these have impacted us since COVID. So first of all, one of the things that is in all the headlines these days is AI. Artificial intelligence is exploding. I heard a talk by Tom Friedman. He's a New York Times columnist in Aspen when I first got there. This would have been early 2016. He had just released a new book. It was called Thank You for Being Late. And about the first third of the book, he was talking about this technological explosion since 2007. And AI was one of the big things that he advocated is going to be in our future. In fact, he said it's a good thing, as a columnist, as a journalist, he said it's a good thing that my career is mostly behind me, because there will be a time soon when the computer will write the article and I won't have to. Well, we've been seeing that. And of course, you could add robotics to that category as well. Obviously, that leads us to think about, what will happen to human workers, jobs? And as Saturn retraces this ground in Aquarius, we have to remember that by 2025, Pluto will be moving into Aquarius for the next 20 years. So a lot of these things that Saturn is running the forefront, Pluto is going to bring to maturity. All right, let's keep our list going here. Virtual reality. In fact, during this period, Facebook changed its name. Put on your glasses, and my son, who works in biomedical engineering, has already said that, he said, Dad, you better figure this out, because that's how you're going to be talking to your granddaughters. Here's another one. Again, these are I'm just making a list. See how these resonate to you. 5G, faster cellular. You could even add to that one Elon Musk and his Starlink system that he's launching so many satellites. And what do you think about so many satellites being in low orbit space? Sometimes those rockets go up 2 in a week and launch 50 satellites each time. What about space debris? And then conversations of 6G by 2030. Is this too much? Look at what's happened just in the last 2020, 2021, and here we are about halfway through 2022, 2.5 years. Look at all that's happened. Here's another one. Going to get sensitive now. Digital contact tracing. This was from a list from MIT. So, I'm digging this stuff up from reliable websites. This was not from, fringe stuff. This was like we have. Since COVID, one of the realities is your smartphone can track you. What do you think about that? With Saturn retracing in Aquarius and then Pluto moving into Aquarius, where do you think that's going to go? For the next 5 months, we're going to be retracing this. Okay, I've got to move quicker here. Hyper-accurate GPS, like we can put something now right on a dot. Remote communication. Zoom, our favorite tool. Telehealth, remote schooling, all popularized just in the last 2.5 years. Here's another one that I experienced, autonomous driving. I had a car there for a while that, literally, this thing almost drove itself. It was crazy. It was amazing. And with that, lithium batteries, this new battery power that lithium is in Lord Jupiter in the van. Those are lithium batteries, and they work great. Couple of others that came from COVID, personalized and predictive medicine. This one we haven't heard as much about, but I know that it is in the works. And basically, this is just pure science. This isn't, let's don't go off to the edges here, but basically they are going to be able to more accurately drill down into what you specifically need based on new technologies in medicine. And then, of course, the thing that is highly controversial all over the world, the mRNA vaccine came about in this 2.5-year window, and medicine already from its launch was saying that this is going to be a wave of the future. Blockchain technology, we've had an explosion and a crash in crypto. And again, a conversation around the world about digital currencies, not Bitcoin, but U.S. dollar digital stuff. And some countries have even adopted some of the cryptos as viable currencies. Well, I'm sorry this went longer than I anticipated, but wow, what an incredible list. And to think that Saturn is going to retrace about 30% of the ground that it has covered and then go back over it again. Where do you think we'll be when Saturn finally moves into Pisces on March 8th, 2023? And that sets up a whole dynamic of itself. And yes, of course, we will cover it. Keep your eye on technology. Big, big, big theme in the chart over about the next 25 years. Have a great Tuesday. See you back tomorrow. Thanks for the extra time.